Consumers care about food. They care that the food is available, affordable, nutritious, and most of all, safe to eat. They also care that what they think they're eating is in fact what they are eating. The reality is that some food products may be deliberately misrepresented. This is food fraud, and it has a history as old as commerce itself. Food fraud is generally considered to be the misrepresentation or adulteration of a product for economic gain. Examples of misrepresentation can include short waiting, deceitful repackaging, past the best by date, or making other false claims about the country of origin, nutritional qualities of the food, or its organic status. Adulteration can take many forms. For example, if farmed salmon is marketed as wild salmon, consumers will pay a higher price for it. Substituting less expensive ingredients, such as adulterating honey with high fructose corn syrup, is also a common form of fraud, as is adulterating olive oil with other cheaper oils. Food fraud has a variety of potential victims. It cheats consumers out of their hard-earned cash. It cheats legitimate producers out of their fair market share in terms of both volume and value. It also has the potential to seriously damage brand reputation and poses considerable risk to retailers. In some cases, food fraud can present a health risk. For instance, if an ingredient is knowingly added that is an allergen but is not declared on the label. In other cases, mislabeled products can contain undeclared antibiotics or banned veterinary drug residues. They may even harbor metals like mercury or other environmental toxins, or simply be indigestible. Beyond the economic and potential health impacts, food fraud can also have environmental consequences. For example, when illegally harvested seafood is laundered into the supply chain, it undermines the sustainable management of the resource. In some cases, species at risk may be passed off as other products. Food fraud is not a new problem, but quantifying the economic or public health impact of food fraud remains difficult. The U.S. Grocery Manufacturers Association estimates that fraud may cost the global food industry between $10 and $15 billion per year, affecting about 10% of all commercially sold food products. The complex nature of the global supply chains means the opportunity for food fraud is substantial. The European horse meat scandal exposed vast supply chain vulnerability with impacts on large and small food businesses and retailers alike. Of significant concern is the fact that organized crime is infiltrating the food supply as an attractive alternative to trafficking in weapons and narcotics, which are heavily policed and carry significant criminal penalties. However, food fraud can be difficult to enforce and even only involves civil fines rather than jail time. Supply chain traceability systems are thought of as important countermeasures to food fraud. However, even blockchain technologies only trace the movement of packages, and unless they are accompanied by relevant verification testing procedures, will do a little to stem the tide of food fraud, or even worse, may simply provide a false sense of security. In our laboratory at the University of Guelph, we have been pioneers in the use of DNA-based methods for food integrity research. Because there's DNA in every cell of every organism, it can easily be recovered even from processed foods that are difficult to identify visually. In Canada, we have documented 25 to 40% of seafood products sampled from food service establishments and retail outlets to be mislabeled. Working with the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, we found that the seafood mislabeling compounded at each step in the supply chain from import to processor to retailer, demonstrating that fraud is happening domestically. We also found that 15 to 20% of ground meat products tested from retail outlets across Canada included species other than those listed on the label, including culturally sensitive species like pork, mixed with other species. We also found horse and lamb in ground beef, among others. Similar issues have been revealed with other commodities. Dairy products like goat milk and cheese may contain cow's milk. Spices like oregano or herbal teas can be adulterated with alfalfa. Natural health products may also be adulterated. Success should not be measured in detecting rogue product but preventing food fraud from happening in the first place. Notably, when combined with new portable DNA detection platforms, the tools we are developing can even be brought on site for point-of-need testing capabilities to protect both consumers and industry. The True ID certification program is also an important tool for protecting brand Canada. We must maintain access to international markets where food fraud is perceived a major concern. Consumers are becoming increasingly aware of the problem of fraud. Academics are developing new tools and setting new standards in support of food integrity. Industry and regulators are recognizing the risk of inaction. New policy frameworks are emerging. Dedicated enforcement and incident reporting frameworks will be key in measuring our success in preventing food fraud. This is ultimately crucial for food safety. If we have a breakdown in authenticity and traceability, this is indicative of a food safety risk that cannot be ignored.